This video is brought to you by kicking a man while he's down. Much easier than kicking a man when he's not. Normally this channel doesn't focus on TV shows. It's mostly movies, sometimes comics, sometimes video games, sometimes TV shows, but never TV shows. Except for today. I mean, it's Game of Thrones anyways, which is as close to a movie quality TV show as we've ever been. Did you see that dragon? It was crazy. It wasn't even a real dragon. What I've always enjoyed about Game of Thrones though, is the seeds planted that spawn speculative theories about the universe. Even as early as episode 1, where people made observations like, everyone King Robert touches when he first arrives at Winterfell ends up dead.
Cat.
That's fun, isn't it? So in the spirit of fun, let's go through a few popular and less popular fan theories. Bearing in mind I find all of these equally plausible, and they definitely don't get more ridiculous as the video progresses. This is a serious subject that I take seriously, and I would never dare to insult the intelligence of any fan of a TV series that's practically one really long movie. I mean, did you see the dragon? In season 6, there was the startling revelation that Bran has some vague but very real abilities that involve reaching into the past. He yells at his father, who's like, "Oh, it's a ghost!" and turns Willis from a good-natured stable boy into a mind-shattered simpleton by combining the past and present versions of that character. In one of his flashbacks, we witness the Mad King and his request to burn them all. His master plan being, explode everyone in King's Landing with wildfire because, I don't know, he's a Mad King, isn't he? They don't call him the Very Reasonable King. The theory goes that in an attempt to get the Mad King to burn all the White Walkers before they become a very real threat, Bran crosses a few wires in his brain that shouldn't be crossed, resulting in him thinking that everyone should burn. It's not completely implausible that that's what twisted his brain into a knot, but neither is the 15 generations of inbreeding that went into his genetics. So make of that what you will. You probably heard this one before, but if you believe the internet, then everyone in Game of Thrones is a secret Targaryen, the dragon-riding inbred former rulers of Westeros. This all came from when it was surmised early on that Jon Snow is actually not the bastard son of Ned Stark, but the son of his sister, Lyanna Stark, and the Mad King's son, Rhaegar Targaryen, making him the biological nephew of Daenerys Targaryen, whose parents were also brother and sister. So why do people want this aunt and nephew to get together? They're gonna end up having a kid that's like Sloth from the Goonies. Anyways, because of all this, it's been thought that there's a bunch of secret Targaryen children scattered around the world, which could also be inside the eye of a blue-eyed giant.
One time she told me, the sky is blue because we live inside the eye of a blue-eyed giant named Macumba.
Maybe we do.
Alright, settle down, Bran. Save up all your weird shit for season 7. It's also thought by many that Tyrion Lannister is also a secret Targaryen, hence his father's intense dislike for him, and clues such as this.
You're no son of mine.
And hey, he could very well be, but bear in mind, you can literally pick any character from Game of Thrones, and someone online has built a complex and ludicrous theory surrounding them, and how they're a secret Targaryen. Hey, remember Roose Bolton? The man who looks like Daniel Craig's bald biological brother? What if I said to you that he wasn't in fact a man, but some kind of skin-wearing immortal vampire monster? Because due to some descriptions of him from the books, that's exactly what some think he is. Was. He's dead now. It's noted multiple times that A, he doesn't appear to age, and B, he has pale, almost grey skin, like he's wearing the face of a dead man. And it's thought, by some, that he only has children so that he can murder them and wear their faces in order to continue the ruse. The Roose Bolton, if you will. That way it also disguises the fact that he's just the same guy living for generations. And that's also why he kept Ramsay alive for as long as he did and named him his legitimate heir. The Boltons, as a family, do have a history of wearing the skins of their enemies, and there's also a tale of old spoken by Old Nan about a man born of a human woman and an other, which could potentially be Roose Bolton. I guess we'll never know, because he's dead. Hey, remember when everyone saw Ned Stark die and he can never come back because he's dead forever? Well, shut it! Shut up! George R.R. Martin has previously stated that all the Stark children have the ability to warg to some extent. We know for sure in the show that Bran has it, but we haven't really gotten any hints concerning the others. But assuming that this is the case, then it's not unreasonable to speculate that Ned Stark is also a warg. And it's thought by some that moments before his death, he jumped from his body into one of these birds, mounting an escape. Well, temporarily, as it's thought by some that those birds ended up in Joffrey's pie and he was decapitated. Again. It's also thought by some that in actuality he walked into his sword ice, which I'm fairly certain isn't a thing. And even if it is, that sword was melted down into two swords, which means he was probably killed in the division of metal, like the time Sean Bean was killed in the division of his limbs. Okay, stop me if you've heard this one. Game of Thrones is set in the future world of Lord of the Rings. Okay, hear me out. George R.R. Martin is a massive Tolkien fan. So would that be so unreasonable to assume? I mean, yes, but I also mean that was a universe where magic left on a boat with Elijah Wood. And when we first visit Westeros, the magic is mostly gone. Also, maybe Ned Stark is a distant relation of Boromir? Or maybe none of that's true. Maybe some universes aren't connected. Hey, but what if Doctor Who visited the Terminator timeline? Yo, you know what? What if he didn't? How about that? Alright, what's next? Ned Stark and Robert were really gay because of how Ned refers to young Robert as muscled, like a maiden's fantasy. Tyrion is really the son of Dany and Drogo. That doesn't really work at all. Tyrion is really the son of Cersei. What was she, like 10 when he was born? Also, why? What does that mean to anyone? How about this though? George R.R. Martin has already finished the book series, but he doesn't need the money, so he's just hanging on to the manuscripts because it annoys fans. The same fans who come up with world-crippling theories or make insane videos about them.
This guy came up to me and said that he thought that it would all end and it would pan out and it had all been one of like it'd been a dream. Ghost had been having a dream. Does that make sense? Like Ghost, my direwolf, had dreamt it all somehow.
Alright, that'll do it. Here's the winner of last week's Loot Crate. If you are this person, just private message me these details and you can have it. And if you want to win next week's box, just leave any comment below. Perhaps on a Game of Thrones theory. Your favourite. Your least favourite. The dumbest thing you can think of. Whatever. It doesn't matter. And if you like video games, well hey, every Tuesday we do something here called Caravan of Garbage, where we play a good or really terrible thing. Here's a clip.
Got him by his stupid face. We might actually win this.
I don't think we will.
I don't feel like a winner though.
I don't understand what I'm doing. Lion torches.
Okay, so
what am I doing though? Like, explain what controller I'm supposed to be using. Am I
don't
using
know.
buttons? Am I using the stick?
just get ready for the defense.
Also, I have a podcast called The Weekly Planet. Happens every Monday, and it covers all things movies and comics and TV shows. That's linked below along with everything else. But thanks for watching this. I appreciate it. Take care.